Craig Kielberg was born December 17, 1982 in Thornhill, Ontario, Canada. When he was only 12 years old, he read an article that made him think and see things differently for the rest of his life. This article was about a Pakistani boy named Iqbal Masih, who was sold into child slavery when he was 4 years old. After 8 years of hard slavery, he finally escaped. When he was 12, he came out in public and told his story. While he was in his home village, he was murdered by someone who supported child labor. The democratic belief on child labor is it is wrong. It is not a democratic view to believe child labor is okay. Democracy is when people rule. 4-year-old kids being sold into slavery and working 12 hours a day isn't right. There are few arguments for child labor. These arguments would be prices are lower because child labor costs are cheaper than regular labor costs. Also, labor costs are cheap, so that's good for businesses that use child labor. These reasons obviously are not humane, and therefore are against democracy. That same morning, Craig read the article about Iqbal Masih. He asked his grade 7 teacher if he could say something to the class. When it was his turn to speak, he held up the article about Iqbal Masih and said something along the lines of, "It is time for change. Who is with me?" Slowly, some kids raised their hands. Craig and those classmates started an organization called Free the Children. They would inform students from neighboring schools about child labor. They were very successful in drawing attention. They raised money for child labor funds. One of Craig's mentors was Alam Rahman. He was very impressed with Craig's work and decided to invite him on a trip to visit child workers in Asia. Craig wanted to go and his parents agreed, so he went. This trip turned out to be very successful. Craig gained international recognition, and more importantly, the international awareness for child labor dramatically grew. Craig spoke to some people that were trapped inside child labor and heard their stories firsthand. Since that trip, Craig has traveled to many other countries on many other missions with many other members of Free the Children. Craig right now is 31 years old. Craig has been named the Leader of Tomorrow and has won the Governor General's Award for Meritorious Service.